driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. Good evening to you. I've been a busy little beaver today. Got some stuff done, man. A lot of little stuff. I still have a lot of little stuff to do. Now I have even more little stuff to do. So, good thing we got we got 3 people now to help us with the Zoom portion of the new meetings. So that is going to be cool. They are from out of state and stuff, but that's all right. That's actually perfect. Hi. It says Facebook user, so I'm not quite sure who it is. I'd go try and track it down. But yeah. So I'm not sure who you are. But you put a period at the end, so I'm not sure. That's half the fun of using Restream is a lot of times it comes up Facebook user. So we've kind of made a game out of it. Some people put like sunshine. Some people do different things. My mom puts 38. That means that she's here. So yeah, we have little indications. You don't need to you don't have to tell me who you are. Hey, Mandy, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I miss, fucking around with you every other Sunday. So hopefully we still get that worked out. Who knows what'll happen? Maybe one day God says, hey, I'm going to pay that whole fucking thing for you. You never know. All right. Tomorrow, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I have a meeting with the Colorado Consortium. What they do is they do prescriptions, things like that, but they make sure that people are doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing. And I'm going to be talking to the person that runs their recovery stuff, and we know each other. But all this bull crap that's been happening in Colorado that I've been trying to get rid of, it's finally coming into light, right? And it's probably a better time for it because I'm doing better, because we have to look at these things the right way. But it's nice to know that Colorado is making a comeback. It's slow, but it's happening. So we're going to do Down to Earth. And this was actually an As-Bill season. I pulled it out of As-Bill season. It takes us to Alcoholics Anonymous on page 130. So I figured I'd just go to page 130 and read from the big book. Nice, simple. So if you want to follow along, if you'd like to follow along in the big book, if you'd like to follow along in the big book, I will be on page 130. I didn't do introductions. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Let's see if it helps us if we go paragraph back. Sometimes it does. Okay. And when the family afterward, I love the family afterward. Love this one. I wish we read more out of 2 wives and 2 employers and things like that. Today's daily reflections covered 2 employers. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Those of us who have spent much time in the world of spiritual make-believe have eventually seen the childishness of it. Yeah. That's how I used to treat God when I was younger. It was more childlike, I never really saw it as a figure, but yeah, most of my stuff was spiritual make-believe. I really didn't know what I was doing. The dream world has been replaced by the great sense of purpose, accompanied by a growing consciousness of the power of God in our lives. It's just it happens to me it's been happening to me every day for a week. That God has been where it says that we feel the consciousness of the power of God in our lives, right? I mean, I've even had great timing. It's really hard to get a hold of my pastor. She's busy, busy, busy. And I needed to talk to her. I'm like, hey, do you got time this week? I've got time right now. She's like, she's like, you got great time. I'm like, it's been that way all week. All right. We have come to believe he would like us to keep our heads in the clouds with him, but that our feet ought to be firmly planted on earth. What we're talking about there is the pink cloud. They're talking about the pink cloud. See, sometimes we will hit a pink cloud. Pink clouds usually come in the beginning. You'll get some more. I get one every now and again. Too elated for me. No, it's too much. No. I go throw humility on it as soon as I get it because no. Too much excitement for Dion. It's when I get really, really excited, it's hard for me to focus on what I need to get done. So, you know, but the key to a pink cloud, it's okay to have your head in the clouds. It's fine. Okay. It's a neat place to be, but it's going to end eventually. And if your feet are firmly planted on the ground, it's not going to hurt as much. It's going to feel more like a transition. Okay. But if you don't, it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt bad. You might relapse from it. That is where our fellow travelers are, and that is where our work must be done. These are the realities for us. We have found nothing incompatible between a powerful spiritual experience and a life of sane and happy usefulness. What a way to describe what our lives are going to be. A life of sane. I tell you what, it was nice to be not crazy anymore. It's nice to not be insane. It really is. One more suggestion. Whether the family has spiritual convictions or not, they may do well to examine the principles by which the alcoholic member is trying to live. They can hardly fail to approve these simple principles. Though the head of the house still fails somewhat in practicing them, nothing will help the man who is off the spiritual tangent so much as the wife who adopts the same spiritual program, making better practical use of it. I remember when my mom sobered up, I went to AA meetings with her. I was a mommy's boy, man. Um, she went in treatment for a month. I hated that. Exactly. No one enjoys it, huh? Unless they record a video about it and then put it on YouTube, then it's funny. God. Sorry. And so I went to a lot of AA meetings with my mom when she first got out. And I would sit in the rooms with them and I would listen. A lot of times there were Alateen meetings going on. I'd go over there. I just wanted my mom to know that there was somebody to support her because my older brother, Scott, he didn't really seem to give a shit. And the other two were just younger. And the man in our family, his foot was already out the door. And so I started to learn some things about alcoholism and why my mom was acting the way that my mom was acting. Okay. And one day and I've told this story quite often lately. I'm not sure why, but one day she wasn't having the best day. We all go through this. And I saw my mom change from my beautiful, beautiful mommy back to alcoholic. I watched it. Her whole attitude changed. And I grabbed her purse, and thankfully she was still pretty light then because I wasn't a very big kid, but I picked her up. I put her over my shoulder And I took her to the car and I said, you need to go to a fucking meeting now. Now. Okay. See how the family life, if when the family takes those principles, and I wish I would have grabbed a hold of them. If I wouldn't have been an alcoholic, man, I would have been fucking great. But it's not what happened. So, all right. They can nothing will help the man who is off a spiritual tangent so much as a wife who adopts the same spiritual program, making better practical use of it. Yeah, my wife does that. She went to Al-Anon. She didn't stay at Al-Anon. She didn't really get along with the people there. So, I'll tell you what, my wife knows how to talk to me. She knew how to talk to me before she went to Al-Anon. That's her skill. She's great with people, a fantastic caretaker, but just too much death. Too much death. All right, I'm going to read one more paragraph and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up and go upstairs and I'm going to get a haircut. My daughter's going to cut my hair. So she isn't a hairstylist, but she can even it out for me at least. And if she fucks it up, I'll just shave it all off. And then my wife will be mad. All right. There will be other profound changes in the household. Liquor incapacitated father for so many years that mother became head of the house. My wife became the head of the household. Okay. My wife is still head of household. I did not ask for it back. Okay. I did not ask. I'm not going to ask for that back. No. Mm-mm. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Because she's better at it than me. I still have things to learn. I suck at money, man. I really do. She's so much better at it than me. If I need something, even it's all our money, right? Then I ask her. Oh shit, if I would have known you were on here, I wouldn't have admitted that. But I'm not head of household. Who fucking cares? Even on our IRS forms, I am not head of household. Okay. So what? So what? She met these responsibilities gallantly by force of circumstances. She was often obliged to treat father as a sick or wayward child. Yeah, I was the wayward child. Even when he wanted to assert himself, he could not, for his drinking constantly placed him constantly in the wrong. Mother made all the plans and gave the directions. That was Shannon. When sober, father usually obeyed. No, I don't obey. My wife and I work things differently, so it's just. Thus, mother, through no fault of her own, became accustomed to wearing the family trousers. Father, coming suddenly to life again, often begins to assert himself. This means trouble unless the family watches for those tendencies in each other and comes to a friendly agreement about them. Now, I wish my mom would have read this and applied it when she got sober and I was the one doing the stuff for her. Okay. See, I'm not head of household now, but I was head of household in my house from 11 to 13. Now, I made sure my brother Scott he was the hero, so he was always gone. And he was running from fucking responsibilities, what he was doing. So, I mean, that's how I learned how to cook. That's how I learned how to write checks and forge my mom's name and stuff. Okay. So once we sober up, especially for us men, we need to realize that we're not head of household, man. And you may never be again. I got 2 words for that. So what? See, my wife and I had this conversation probably when I was 18. Why would you want to be mad with somebody you love? And that's how Shannon and I work it. Okay. Are you upset with me? I don't get upset with you. We still ask, the other person never upset. Okay. We've been in one fight this year when the kids moved in. That was it. Other than that, we don't we don't fight at all. We have conversations. Shannon and I have learned how to have hard conversations together. Yeah. And it took us some practice. It took us some practice. We had to learn each other's love languages. We needed to see what was going on. Okay. No. Sometimes it's harder for me to talk about what's going on. So she'll prod me a little and vice versa. Actually, when something's going on with her, I prod her till she tells me. I have more codependency issues than Shannon does right now. I'm aware of them. I'm aware of them. So, right, to each, it's kind of a to each their own. You can't force your kids to live a spiritual life. Well, I'm let me rephrase that. I couldn't. They don't fucking listen to me. Okay? But what they do is watch my actions. And that is what's done it. Okay? For years, my biggest fear was I was not going to have my children back in my life. It was killing me. And I was not willing to let it go. People are like, you gotta let it go. I'm like, yeah, I'm letting it go today. In the long run, no, I ain't letting it go. Why? Because my parents did that to me and it felt crappy, man. They'll reach out when they want to. No, don't rely on that. Bug them little motherfuckers. So, all right. Sounds like Megan's out of the shower, so I'm gonna go get my hair cut. Yeah, babe, Megan's gonna cut my hair. So hopefully I have some when you come home. Oh, let's put this up. Let's put this up. I don't know who you are yet, but today I was reminded that forgiveness is not for them. Let me start that over. Today I was reminded that forgiveness is not for them, but for to let go of the hate, pain, and anger you might feel towards someone else. Yeah, that's exactly it. Let go and let God in smaller terms. Don't forgive them. Um, don't forgive them for them to forgive them, but for you to be selfish. Yeah, love you too. That's great. Yeah, absolutely. Um, when it comes to amends, it isn't really even just about the forgiveness, it's about the justice that comes with it, right? Um, there are some ninth steps that I wasn't able to do, and I had to pull out forgiveness, man. I got to keep my side of the street clean. Okay. The man that raised me, that's a good example. He doesn't want to be in my life anymore. He's made that very apparent. Okay. So a few years back, I sent him an email letting him know how I felt him as a father. And most of it was good. I told him, I think you did a great job with what you had. I know you were going through this and going through that, and I appreciate all that. So, you know what? My side of the street is clean. Okay. I live a life of no regret. I'm not going to lie on my deathbed and say, I wish I would have healed. Ain't going to happen. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This was a fun one. I appreciate it. I love you. I think I say those three words more than anything anymore. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Maybe not more than fuck, but all right. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Peace out and have a day.